So, I just wanted to talk about people asking about it. So, I'm just going to do a quick build rundown real quick. Just while I'm on stream, and then I can put it into YouTube and shit later on. So, Nightblade Bomber since CP 2.0 has been really fun. It's hitting super hard, like way harder than it ever used to. And the build has changed a little bit, so I'm just gonna go through it right now. Hello friends. Let's go somewhere a little more private. Got people running in my screen and shit. Right. So what should I start with first? Character sheet. Okay, let's go. So you want to be using Ghastly Eyeball for your food. Shadow Mundus for extra crit damage. You want to be a Vamp stage 2, so you get the passive out of Stealth. You get 350 spell damage. 300, sorry. And you want to be a Khajiit. Alright, I've said it before that Khajiit was not best in slot for Bomber, but it is now. I'll go over why later, but High Elf, Dark Elf, these are still going to work. But Khajiit is definitely best in slot. As for your attributes, guys, just put all your points into Magicka. I only do this because I sometimes Destro bomb, and I will be able to show you that setup as well. But if you're ever going to Destro bomb, just you want to put some points into health. And run Trifig instead of Ghastly. But I'll go over them differences later. So for the Tether, the standard basic Nightblade Bomber. Yeah, Khajiit, all that shit. 64 points of mag. As for the gear. Right, I'll go over slottables first. So we've got Ghastly and Try Food on our bar, just for depending on what we're doing. These are your main pots that you're going to use. They're just cheap. If you wanted to use a better version, use Detect Potions. They're going to come in really handy. I also like to slot tries and immovables just in case. Jeweled axes, you want these. You want your one on your front, you want it nano-owned, and on your back you want it sharpened. And the axes are better now because dual wield passives got changed. So you want these two passives in dual wield. But axes now give you 4% crit damage done per axe. So it's an extra 8% crit damage, which is nice. So that's what you want. I run not double dot poisons, just damage health poisons, but they've got minor cowardice and minor sorcery attached to them. And the drain magicka as well, which is handy. These are really good. I'd use these if you could get your hands on them. I can't quite remember the ingredients to make them though, so you'd have to look that up. But minor sorcery poisons is basically what you're looking for. And on the back bar you want to run a Maelstrom Resto. Any trait's good. I like Precise because when I'm in a group it helps out a little bit more. Absorb Mag Enchant just for sustain. And as for the gear on the body, we are running Balog's Head and Shoulders. I run 1 heavy and 6 light on this build. You can run 7 light, it's going to be more damage, but I feel like the 1 heavy just gives you the extra health that you need just to survive some things. Sometimes I even run 2 heavy, but I always make sure, you know, you can even go 5-1-1 for your Daunted passives. That might be even better for you, but as long as you've got at least 5 light on, you're gonna be fine. Like, my usual setup is 5 light and 2 heavy, just to give you that little bit of survivability, just to get out of the bomb and stuff. But it's completely up to you. Your second set is Acuity, bread and butter. You know what this does already. If you don't, then you're probably new to my channel, and so welcome. But you know, Acuity is like the best shit. Like, you just want that. There's no other better set for bombing. Straight up, you want it all divines. You know, all max mag on your gear, and on the jewelry you want to run VD, and you want to ideally run all bloodthirsty. I've got one infused right now. To be honest, it doesn't really matter what traits you run. You're gonna kill shit, but this is, I find that the more bloodthirsty you run, the better it is. So triple bloodthirsty, defo worth it. So that's the gear. Skills wise, nothing's really changed on our bar. Usual setup: concealed weapon, sap essence, lotus fan, invis, inner lion, swords ever on the front on our dual wheel bar. This is just going to give you the easiest rotation. So on the back bar, siphoning, rapid regen, combat prayer, channeled accel and proxy. Back bar ulti can be kind of whatever you want. I like soul harvest to build up, barrier, whatever you want to put there. CP, now this is the bit people have been asking for. Right. So start on green. People usually leave green out, but there's a few things. You want this out of sight passive down here. So it reduces the radius you can be detected while sneaking. This is crazy. You can kind of just walk right next to people and it don't put you out of stealth. Reduce your fall damage taken. We all know that some of the easiest and best bombs to get are when you drop down onto them. So defo put that in there. I'm slowly working on these two. I've got my rationer, but working on that one. You want your Steez blessing if you're out of combat movement speed. That's just handy. And then sustaining shadows to reduce the cost of stealth, because we're going to be stealthing a lot on this build. We're not going to be using invis as much as, you know, we used to, because we can move about really fast in stealth, and we can stealth for a very long time now. As for the other slottables, I just put my mount speed and what have you in. But yeah, that's the most important thing. And this one, if you haven't got vampire, but you should have vampire. Blue tree. So my slottables, I'll go over this first. So you want to max out all your golds, as you know. And these are the slottables that I'm using. So fighting finesse increases your crit damage and crit healing done by 10%. Master arms, 10% more damage done. Biting aura, 10% more damage done with AoEs. And backstabber is 15% crit damage done when you're flanking, which you should always be doing. So that's the CP. Bread and butter, really. I don't know why people were asking, because it's pretty obvious. But here we are. So yeah, that's blue and red tree. So I put rejuvenation, but this is getting nerfed very shortly, so I'll probably be changing that up soon. This is just going to give you recov, which is just going to be handy. Slippery, so that when you get stunned you automatically break free. Super handy when bombing. Probably the best CP in my opinion when it works. Max out all your golds. Expert evasion gives you a free roll dodge, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. When you bomb and you're trying to get out, you probably have to roll dodge 2 or 3 times, and with this you can do it an extra time, which is just really handy. The other one I'd mention is piercing gaze. Make sure you've got this maxed out. Increases your stealth detection so that you can see other Nightblades before they see you, especially if you pair it with this passive here as well. It's going to make it much easier to kill other Nightblades. Tempered Soul's handy because you do die a lot as a bomber and you do get rezzed quickly, like, so this can come in handy. 10% more resources when you get rezzed. And yeah, that's it. So the slottables are Bastion. This is going to increase your damage done to people with a shield by 15%, which is huge. Obviously expert evasion, slippery and rejuvenation. So that's the CP. I think that's everything. So if you want to like change it up and go Destro, so the only thing you need to change is take off Resto and put on Destro, obviously. And your Destro wants to be Nernhoned with a spell damage enchant. It's going to give you the most damage. As for the armour, I'd definitely consider running 2 heavy at least, or maybe even 3. Since you're Destro bombing, you are going to be a bit more of a prone target, and you kind of have to stay in it a little longer than you would if you were tether bombing. But that is literally the only thing you need to change apart from your skills. So on your skills, when you're Destro bombing, put Soul Harvest on the front so you get loads of ultimate when you kill people, and you drop it in a light for Camo Hunter. And on your back bar, you put Swallow Soul in place of Rapid Regen, Spectral Bow in place of Combat Prayer, and Destro ult where Soul Harvest was. And there you go. That's the only things you need to do to change it, which makes it really handy when you're out in Zero on the field, and you know, sometimes a situation calls for a tether, sometimes it calls for a Destro, and you can switch out really quick. So yeah, super handy. You don't need to change CP. That's why I constantly run 22 points into health, because you know you need them if you're Destro bombing. If you just tether bombing, like I said before, just go 64 points in mag. But yeah, for Destro bombing you want Try Food on as well, so I switch up to Try Food, Bewitch Sugar Skulls, and primarily run immovable potions. But that is the only difference. So yeah, that's it. I think I've covered everything. Just double check. All spell damage glyphs on the jewellery, by the way. I didn't mention that, but I mean, obviously you can see it. Skills, CP, yeah. Done everything. Sweet. Let's go do some bombs. Let's see if there's anything happening in here first. Shall I tether or Destro though? I might just tether. Only really Destro bomb in Zero most of the time. Don't get that Zergy in here. There we go. I've got one already. This poor guy, he's got 43k health, so he's off to get ganked. Dropped him like a sack of spuds. Like 3k health. Okay, great resist. Let's get continuous before we do anything. I love the fact that dual wield is best in slot again though. I think it's cool that axes are now best in slot too. It's been swords for so long. Oh, shall I go bombing the LFG Zerg? Shall I? Bro, it's always really fun. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Pug Nation, LFG. Hey, listen. I'm just a casual player now. I'll Zerg if I want to. I don't give a fuck, I Zerg if I want to. Probably gonna get invited to pie though, so the stream might be silent. Yeah, it's happening. Cut the stream off because